over on the Patreon, we are going to be doing a orc/goblin challenge. So this is the one I got sent. This is what I've got to deal with. Ah, you'd meet Twitch. All good. So GW sent me this, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll give this a go. Funny enough, I actually have like a whole other orc. Like I've got the orc kill team, which I totally forgot. But this is kind of cute, so I thought, you know what, let me paint this and see how we get on. All right, so I'm just doing. I think for this, we're just gonna block out probably all the colors, just using contrasts, and then I will do a acrylic sketch coming. But I think I'm excited. So all of you guys, we're gonna jump into the challenge on the Patreon. Jump into the challenge, and then this will be video, kind of be like a tutorial of how to paint the different elements on the orcs or Gretchens or goblins, basically the skin and stuff. And you can probably take some ideas for your own, guys. And then we will also be doing some stuff around feedback. So I'll be giving you guys feedback on when you enter at the end of the month. So it'll be running from January to February. So it'll be a cool opportunity for you guys to yeah, learn some stuff, share, give it feedback to each other, and grow together. So that is what it's all about. Right, so just drink my water. Less what and more what. So Lamarty's is still going, by the way. I just wanted to give him a bit of a break. But hopefully, like with the challenges, depending on how this one goes, if it goes well and people are interested, we'll do more. So Frugal, you might be able to do one of those like 100 busts that you have, because I would love to do a bust challenge next. I've actually got to finish Idril, because yeah, she's been there for ages. So hopefully you guys can just enjoy it, and we'll go through. So we'll start. I'm gonna mix things up. Like, you might not expect what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna start with something quite different. It's kind of gonna be like an underpainting. So I've got this brand from Contrast Craig Scales, which is actually one of the colours I use for my Alpha Legion. Hello, Nick. When I did metallic alphas, for like the 2 times I did it. Banger, detected. What's this? Brush is damaged. So very quickly, just using this crappy brush, I'm going to give the whole model a blue undertone, because I actually want to do a blue undertone to my orc, and you'll see why. And this will especially happen when I get on to the yes, distract you with, no, I'm here to inspire you. You guys are gonna come away inspired to work on your orcs. That is my plan. I want you guys to be super engaged, and I'm excited to see. Is there no primer on the model? No. Yes, it is. There is primer. It's sprayed grey. I'm using Halfords. So if you're from, you guys in the UK will know that, like, just a car automotive, it's grey primer. And you guys will be able to see what this effect does, because I could use an airbrush, but I can't be bothered, and I don't want to, so I'm not going to bother. Also, is that a grenade on his back of his head, or is he just holding? Yeah, it looks grey plastic because that's the finish of the paint. So actually, when I finish priming, I'm always like, gosh, did I actually spray anything, or is that like not come through? But what you can do is you can spray it black first and then grey. But I've kind of just gotten used to it now. So So I'm just hitting it with this this contrast paint. Ew, contrast. Yeah, well, no, they're good. I'm gonna hit it with the contrast paint, and the cool thing about contrast is they're so pigmented. Ah, nice. Yeah. I mean, this is one of my favorite colors. If I was doing metallic alphas, I would use this as like probably the highlight of my metallics. But yeah, you know how I am. I always do them in matte colors, so I don't really use that. But I think you'll be surprised. One of the cool things about this is that with acrylics, now this kind of works in a sandwich way. The Cragicals, well, a Citadel contrast, they have a satin finish. And that's good for like if I wanted to do like a kind of oil wash or something like that. If gloss is probably better, but once your oil wash is good. But it stops our oils from like sitting and, excuse me, staying where I want them to stay. So it's actually more beneficial. Let me just lift this a bit so you guys can see the whole palette when we get onto it. It's actually more beneficial for when I get onto Chimera, which is extremely matte, which is better for my oil paints, because oils work better on matte surfaces, and then the acrylics work better on satin surfaces, which is why GW's primers are mainly satin. So it all adds on. If you start with acrylic over a matte surface, you'll get some difficulty. So it's actually important to understand what your primer is doing to the paint. Whoop. So, yeah. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't put a video out recently. One, because I actually enjoy live streaming more, and I think I can be like more attentive. I mentioned that before. Well, I do have a video coming on a secret project, which is under NDA at the moment, so I can't say anything. But don't worry, I think you guys will like it. So it will come out soon. I think you guys will enjoy that when it comes. Yeah. Ooh. There's something I never thought I'd paint. Like in Dawn of War, like 2, I absolutely hated them. So they were so broken in Dawn of War. If you guys will play that video game, super frustrating. But yeah, I kind of want to do. I've got a bust I need to do for maybe for Fen, but I've got a few busts to do. I just realised I lost some of the pieces to one of the busts I was making because I had it. It was so old. I had it for like since before COVID, and I'd just been too scared to tackle it. And then obviously I got into painting busts and stuff, so now I can feel like I can tackle anything. But where's that colour gone? I've lost it. There you go. Bar reds. Bar red is next. But now, yeah, I've got the courage finally to tackle it. Bar red is actually really nice. It's a very vibrant, deep red. But I want things to be quite cold. So that's why it's actually helpful to start from this blue base. And I need to start on an area that I don't think I just painted. So you know what, give me a second. I'm gonna let that dry. Maybe that's me. So I've been busy with stuff going on in the background, work and all sorts. How have you guys been? What's going on what's going on with you guys? How's life? How's work? If you guys are working. Yes, it's funny. I'm so patient with oil paints, but with acrylics, I have no patience. If you're not dry when I put you on, I use you because you dry so fast and you're frustratingly fast. So you better do your job. Honestly, I was painting those models on the weekend, and I was like, how is it that my paint is already dry before it's touched the model? Like on my brush, it's already dry. I was like, this is ridiculous. Alright. going to show you guys something actually before I do what I was going to say, what I was about to do. So on my palette, I have some pastel colours from AK. And these colours are super like high value. So I'm going to try something. I've never done it before, but we'll see how it goes. I just had an idea pop into my head. Just want to see what happens. This is why experimentation is good. And cool. I'm glad you started your orc stuff. All I'm going to do is just start sketching lights, like where I want things to live. And you can see I'm using a really crappy brush. But you'll see what happens when I actually put it on. I'm going to draw attention to the snowball in his hands. And then the hat on the top. Doesn't have to be perfect. All I'm doing is I'm just increasing the value, but then we're going to put a contrast on this anyway, so I have no idea what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting. It's like a little experiment. It's kind of like an area where I want to build up contrast. Well, that's interesting. Coloured the It's fun doing this sort of stuff. You're like, oh, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Alright. Here's my kitchen towel. My wife will be returning soon from work. Her job. Started a new job in a church. Helping as a fundraiser, helping to raise some money so the church can get its new building, make some like events for people. Alright, so this is kind of like well, I'm just experimenting with like underpainting. So now, if this works well, or as I hope it works, I think that area is still wet, but let's see, let's see. My theory is correct if my plan is correct. Nice, yes. That's kind of what I was hoping. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Look how, it's crazy how like vibrant that is. Right, what colour are his trousers meant to be? It's like a kind of like underglow. Cool. That's still wet, that area of the blue, so I'll leave that. Maybe up here? Yeah, man, cool. So now we're getting like oh, it's kind of got like a magenta. It's dope. Red on the front, magenta on the back. That's interesting. So this is just like a quick way to block colours out. Now if you imagine I did this like, that's awesome. That's like really bright already. So if you imagine I did this properly, and by properly I mean like proper took my time in areas, you can see. But what I like about it is it kind of gives us this really nice like underpainting vibe. There's like differences in the colours that go on, so it's quite cool. Nice. It's fun, man. I love painting so much. Get all these different effects. So now, okay, so that's the red, right? We can all say, like, apart from the brightness of the color, you know, you're not gonna win any awards of that, but that's fine. We need a green. We need a green. I'm gonna use this one. It's like a colder. We're gonna build up to where's my brush gone? Ah, we're gonna build up to like a kind of like pastely yellow, yellowy green. You can see the under layer from the blue kind of getting on there. You've got to use everything, Nick. Everything. Do what you must to win. Yeah, I don't. I used to. So when I was actually learning oils, it was all I was using. Like I wanted to learn it exclusively, to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can, and because I was like really interested and quite passionate about like that. But now it's like, well, I've kind of. Now I understand how to use the medium. It's now just about doing it and just using it more and more and seeing what you can get away with. But acrylics are, you know, everything has its strength. Like, I'm running a class. Frugal will be in that class, and you know, I'll be running a class soon. A month actually, 2 months. And like, if I wanted to do it entirely in oils, I would need longer because I need to make sure that everyone kind of gets good results from the class as well. Like, it's not enough for them to kind of come through. They need, that's not doing much, is it? What's wrong with this paper? They kind of need, yeah, they need results. So I want them to come away with having something they can say, oh, we're finished with. So that's where acrylics are really good because, you know, they dry really fast, and then that's a way of speeding up your process. What colour are his boots? Brown? Black? Oh, no. Okay. You know what colour should we paint his boots? So I'll just go for like a dark brown. The only one I probably, well, actually no. I think because we don't have, I don't actually have a contrast, like a brown contrast. GW sent me like almost all of the contrast, but they sent me their second set, which you've probably, if you've seen the video on their okay, actually that's actually the colour I was looking for. I think I got more like a black. Yeah, if you saw me on the when they did all their promotion a couple of years back, it's good fun. All of this, guys, has given us our unit like a cold feeling, right? They've got like a really nice cold underglow. Ah, man, no. I still, I'm glad they don't give me everything. It would be impossible to finish, and I just feel bad. But I mean, it could open the doors for giveaways on the Patreon, so you guys could get free models as well. Especially if I know I'm not going to get around to it, I could do like competition. Maybe I should do that actually. Yeah. but we'll see. Maybe when I reach a certain amount of like subs or whatever. All right. It's going to be interesting to see how this changes, actually. I have no... 1 million sub giveaway. Alright, well, we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be here for a while, guys. Unless one of you guys works in marketing. Or ads. Alright. Yeah, cool. So some colours, it doesn't make sense to like paint in contrast, and also I don't think I have those colours in stock anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference. I actually own those colours. All right, so that's drying. The base is here, but I think we'll do this at another time. Look at the cute little goblin at the bottom. It's awesome. Throwing snowball grenades, which I think is hilarious. Okay. You can see like the satin / gloss of some of the finishes. Like in there, it's quite shiny. In here, but you can see like now we've got that kind of glow where the colours are blended together. I prefer to use contrast for stuff like this because it means that it dries faster, but you get the same effect that you would do with an oil wash without like the blending basically, but you still get some effect. So like the back is colder, the front is kind of slightly warmer. I think that's awesome. I think we'll kind of follow that trail, so we've got like more of a violet-y back to it. Cool. Just this drink. Alright, so with that effect, now we've got all these different undertones which we can build on. So I'm using my acrylics now. I'm going to switch to my acrylics. And we'll start with the red. I'll make a quick mixture if you guys turn your attention to the wet palette. Just gonna get some stuff, and then I'll get a little bit of this like violet color at the bottom here, which is empty. Which one of these is working? One of these, is that dried out? Oh no, that one's working. I think that one had grey in it. Right, we're just gonna do the red coat first. Where is the purple? Is that it? Yeah, that's purple. There you go. Cool. Alright, so we're using the red like this because we want to maintain the saturation of the colour, but we don't want to keep a consistent, like keep the temperature as it was. So now I can start working on it. Just got that. Now red is notoriously like terrible. It's terrible coverage. But this is all just for sketching, so we're not using it to be like refined or anything. Our refinement comes from our oil paints. The acrylics, I'm using the AK brand, which for you guys want to know, I recommend getting yourself this set, which are now all on my table because I had no common sense to close the lid. But yeah, this is a really good set. Ah, it's actually not that bad. Comes with a bunch of different colours for you to use, and we'll be using almost, well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So I definitely recommend this. Oops. Because they're very matte, and you'll see, but because of the base underneath, they won't be as matte won't be as matte as they could have been. Yeah, I mean, any paint that does the job, really. Like, yeah, aka Scale 75 is good, but Scale 75 is a bit... I like it a lot, but it's a bit tricky to work with. You have to thin them, really. Like... to thin them quite especially, like, pretty tricky. So all I'm doing now is I'm just using my acrylics to help refine and that gel medium. Okay, cool. Yeah, but I find, yeah, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I find scales like really lovely. Love how matte they are, but goodness me, they're difficult to paint with. So now you can see, because of what I've done before on the underlayer, we've got actually like a really cold red. So even though I'm going warmer on the color wheel now, I'm building up to like a slightly warmer red. Overall, because of that underpainting, like it looks more saturated on the camera, it looks a lot more red on the camera, but in the hand it's quite a cold red. But this gives us like a really nice, no, I don't want that colour. I want an orange in there. That will warm up way too much. You can see how we start to develop a really... It's also like a case of like, what material is this? But then that's where kind of like style comes in. So you can have a mess around, you can play. You can figure out from there. But they glaze nicely, do they? Okay, cool. That's good to know. Let's see if I can stick to the reds and not move on to another area. Sometimes I get a bit bored. Okay, so the difference now with painting cloth with this style versus like a GW is that in GW there will be they put all of their shadows, right? All the deep shadows go in that line there, right? But for us, realistically, cloth doesn't work like that, or clothing doesn't work like that. You can actually see how the light is gathering there and bouncing back at us. So that would actually be highlighted. The rest of it would be in shadow, but this would be highlighted. So when you paint areas like curves and gaps, or curves are like dips, folds in the cloth, you only highlight, make it shadow if it's facing away. But it's never completely pitch black because light from the surrounding areas are bouncing back at you. So it's just something to bear in mind. Like, we never want to have super dark shadows unless it's a deep fold and light isn't gathering there, which doesn't really happen too often. It will always be, it will never be like completely black. It will always have like a color in there, which is where like we can do some really nice things with like adding some purples, or if we've got yellow shadows, sorry, yellow highlights, like a warm highlight, we can add yellow shadows in there. Right, so now I'm going right up in value. This colour is, no, it's red, yeah, it's red, so that would be red too. Okay, so I completely missed that part down there. Just trying to follow, I use the box art to help guide me and tell me what is actually painted, because it's so small, it's difficult to see on the model. So you can see now. Alright, now after this, Serena's red. Needs to be more red than pink, so otherwise it will start to look pink, not red. What red really needs is to keep its, you want red to keep its saturation. So every single time you see me highlight, I glaze over it or paint over it again, because it just affects the underlayer. See how that's starting to warm up already. But for the back, we can use more purple, because it was in the violet, right? So it's still red, but it's colder. You've got blue shadows, which is going to be super fun to do when we get onto the oil paints. Get some blue in there, maybe some turquoise. But this is actually how you build atmosphere. It's understanding the theory, understanding the colours you use, and the effects each colour has with each other. But the sad thing about like using acrylic paints is just how quickly they lose their actual the colour. They reveal what they actually look like, and not these like super vibrant things. They lose their brilliance. But we know that oils don't have that issue. Highlighting, well, painting in the kind of initial layers. Also, I really hope you guys are bought, for you lot who are interested in oil painting. I really hope you've bought this. This has like changed the way I paint. I cannot recommend it enough, honestly. Like, if you're having issues with layering, using this will save your time. It like almost turns your oil paint into an acrylic. It moves all like the gloopiness of the paint, all the thickness, which is important when we're painting miniatures. And instead it makes it super smooth, so you get this really nice, almost acrylic finish. And then you can layer on top of it really easily without like rubbing your work away. So you, essentially, white spirit becomes your rubber, becomes your eraser, rather than your like what you actually use to paint. So my new video coming out soon. Not this week, but soon. You'll see me use that just pretty much the entire way through. It makes such a difference. So if you can invest in that paint, or a medium like it, you can use linseed oil, refined linseed oil as well, I think. Basically, you just want that medium, a medium that helps you, just smooths out like the brush strokes. Alright, so now we're going to get onto, stop licking my brush. Painting this area where the light is strongest. Light would gather up on the front of his head, so we're also trying to draw attention to his face, or the top of him, and his silly little hat, because why not? This is where we start adding in our own curvature, adding in our own folds. This is actually where drawing comes in, like a little bit. I'm not very good, like, I can't draw particularly well, but I can imagine, I've got quite a good imagination, so I can imagine where folds would be. And you do that just through kind of as you're painting, you're kind of projecting the light onto it. So you just have to kind of imagine it as you're going. Okay. Yeah, the back is still quite cold, which is good. This is what we want. Now I'm going to show you a secret. How do you keep your red cold but highlight? How do you increase the value? Well, this is where pastel violet comes in. I don't know if I've actually used this on my palette before, but I understand how in theory this should work. So I add this to my red. See how this kind of pops in, how this helps. So if I just add this, where's my red? This is one there. There you go. So this now gives us a colder red, right? But it's a different. That's the red mixed with the pastel violet. This is the red mixed with the pastel. What's it called? I think that was the pastel yellow, so slightly warmer. This cools it down, gives it like slightly cold highlights. And what I'm doing now is adding my own like marks on the folds. And this is why we call it a sketch, because it's not blended. It's not refined, it's just be loose with your brush strokes here, it's really fun. Get that light in the gap, like I told you. I think there's some actually area there that needs some red love. But now we've got two different versions. Look at that. So now we've got like a colder back and we've got a warmer front. Like it's quite strong as well, which is fine because I think, yeah, when I place him, his back will be to the snowman, which will be similar, painted very similarly, but like with like blue undertones. And I'm going to push towards like a warm white because it's facing this way, and then his back will be blue, but his stomach will be colder because this character is casting a shadow because he's in front of him. So we'll get onto that, and I'll show you guys how that goes. All right, but yeah, we'll just finish the sketch here, and then we'll move on to painting the face. How do you guys find the zooming in? Like, I just need to know, so if it's not helpful for you lot to see the model painted super up close, like I've been doing recently, or like almost every time, let me know. I find it helpful because I can see, so I end up getting a much better result. But if it makes you guys feel sick, or if it's disorientating, do let me know, so then I stop doing it if it's problematic for you lot. Alright, so now we get into the paint over. Kind of like thin coat, not a wash, slightly thicker than a wash. I just need to build up. Alright, cool. Yeah, let me know if it does make you feel sick, because it's actually really helpful, and it also reminds you that it's a painting, like it's not a, you know, I'm using my hand, not an acre of empty desk. That's true. That is true. That's true. Yeah, I know. Some people are guilty of it. They don't zoom in very far. They like paint from here, and you're like, yeah, that's super useful. I can see the entire model. Can't see much else. So, but this is a really good camera. Like it gives me that freedom. I couldn't paint like this when I was using my iPhone. And actually, it's funny. I take pictures on my iPhone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes the style, it crushes everything. So, yeah, using a camera is much better. All right, wife's just come home. I'm just gonna greet her. Give me 2 seconds just to say hello, explain where dinner is. A lot because I have to cook today, and then I'll be right back.
Mic off.
No, I'm not eating. Ooh.
Mic on.
Mrs. Edge. That's funny. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, so now I'm just gonna make this a bit warmer, guys, right? Because I want it. The cool thing is acrylics, they do give you the punch much faster, obviously because they're easier to layer with. So when you really want, you should always go just a bit brighter when you're painting than you think. Just always push further ahead because it's easier to knock it down than it is to build it back up. So I always advise people when they're painting their minis and they want that contrast, because they're so small, we need to like pick out areas. So always go a bit brighter than you think you need, and then you can always knock it down. And this is where contrast, like for a lot of the time we're very scared to paint like bright because we're like, oh, that's too bright, I've gone too far. But you can always knock it down. You can always bring it back. So you don't have to worry so much. Like if you do have that problem, don't worry about it. Like you can always bring it back. And I actually learned that by painting the bus, because I was like, oh, the contrast. It needs to look natural. It needs to not be like, yeah, these are miniatures, man. And this is like your style. I really don't like the photorealistic style of painting. I appreciate it, but I could never paint that way. So I always try to add some stylism to the work, because otherwise I'd just go and take a photo. So yeah, try to go a bit further than you think. And it will look a bit like, you'll be like, oh, that looks a bit weird, like, but this is fine. It's fine, it's exactly what it should look like. Okay, so that is that, and then we'll do the exact same thing for the back. I'm gonna focus the lights, try not to let my brush, focus the lights where the folder. This will make my life easier when it comes to doing the oil paint. It's a guide. Just create these like hash marks. And this is all like super quick, right? Super rough. And then we can go really crazy. So what I'm doing is it's going to be holding the brush like this can be quite strenuous on your wrist. I do like that. You can hold it like that, but that's for like super loose if you're trying not to be like accurate. But I hold the brush like this and then I just let it bounce like that. This kind of comes from years of video gaming, I think. But also I used to hold my brush, my pencil in school like that as well. But I found that it let me be quite accurate. Now, just gonna one layer up. Okay, so you can really see we've got some areas of shadow, in a way, like almost like a car shadow, and this model is full of that. This model is full of casted shadow potential, like where his arm is kind of coming down on the cloth, where one arm is up, like it would probably have a cast shadow on the floor. Like that's like quite advanced. Underneath his coat as well. So for that sort of stuff, you have to really go into like desaturated territory if we want to start doing that, which we can try. Actually, why not? We're here, we're playing around. Why not? We just mess around. Oh, the camera died because it can't take 4K. So why does it do that? It struggles with 4K. We're gonna switch to normal view. Seems to struggle. Just settings this. Most of the time, just find those ones. It's like super close seeing anyway. As you can see, it's funny how like it actually looks when you get close. You can almost see the car shadow coming though. I think I'll keep it like that. Hopefully I won't let the camera overheat. Hopefully the quality is okay for you guys. Always happens if I stream on 4K for some reason. I have to figure out a way to stop the camera from overheating. Otherwise there's going to be no point. Maybe get a fan or something. So right now I'm using like desaturated versions of the colors. I'm adding a little bit of black. So we want a deeper cast shadow underneath on his back. But we'll have to highlight this because there will still be texture, even if it's a cast shadow. And his arm as well would have one. So this is where like the drawing comes in that I mentioned before, like understanding where to sketch. Some of that excess water. There you go. So like in here wouldn't be getting any light. Here would be under shadow. It's got one here. I think actually the model itself is kind of creating its own shadow area. So I was kind of guessing at this point, following it. Doesn't have to be super accurate, just has to be present. This is what makes the model actually, guys, look 3D. Like it's not just living in space, but it's there. Like he's affecting the world around him. And to do cast shadows, you're kind of projecting based on the direction. So it's funny because like around him, you would say, oh, maybe that would be like cold, but it wouldn't be because obviously the light's coming from this way. So this would still be warm, but underneath him would be colder in terms of color. To project cast shadows, we need to look at the model from its orientation, so basically the sides, and then we just guess. We just guess basically. Okay, so like if I'm looking at it from the top, the shadow would be. Let's fix the blur. Sorry. Oh, there's colors. Yeah. So the shadow would be there. So you're just basically trying to project that, but then you've also got to remember like the angle the sun is at, and then you just mess around. But as long as it's dark and hard because it's close to his body, so that requires you to be a bit neat with drawing. It will look convincing as a cast shadow. This is how you start messing around and trying things. Don't be afraid to try, even if it doesn't work out. Try it. See what happens. See if you can do something a bit different. Okay. Alright, so down here actually is actually quite helpful because I've not really painted in there. I've missed that spot as I was painting, so it's a bit awkward for me to get into. But probably get a bit of a caster shadow there. The important thing is to, whatever colour you're using for your darkest areas, add a brown or a black to it. One of those. To desaturate it further. But you still, if you can, you want some colour in there. My wife is making a lot of noise. You can have some colour in there so that it's not like totally boring. And also remember, our shadows have light. This is not focusing, guys, sorry. Just get a nice, comfortable position. There you go. There you go. Let me just start marking in our folds. So these are specifically folds that are facing, aren't where light is more, it's difficult to reach. We're just kind of drawing in our own folds. No one told me that they don't like me zooming in, so we're going to do that. So you can see, actually under there, kind of getting where I've marked the area for the caster shadow to be, and I just need to pull it a bit more. So it would go further up. And again, it's paint, right? So don't worry about like ruining anything. It's paint. You can always just paint over it if it doesn't work out and just move it around. But the reason I'm doing this in acrylics is because it gives me, like I've said before, but it gives me a safety net that I don't have with oils. Because kind of need to start again. If it's like a big area, if something like fundamentally doesn't work and you've done a lot of work and you've done it all in oils, then either wait for it to dry or start again, because yeah, as long as you've not been working the paint too much, don't want it to develop a texture. You'll have a bit more freedom, but otherwise, yeah. So then underneath his arm, cool. All right. Okay. Still think it's kind of weird, but I think it's round enough. It works from this angle. It's round enough for it to not look weird. I mean, we can always highlight that up and correct it if anything. Cool. Okay, so that's that. All right, let's do the skin. Let's do the skin. We can let that settle for a sec, and we'll get on to the skin. So for the skin, hopefully you guys checked out that video I put in the Discord. Just turn my phone on to low battery mode so it's not dying. I'm going to try it with these colours. I can mix my own, but I'm lazy. Deep green and frog green. I might add a, where's that pastel? And the pastel green will cool this down. We'll cool the frog green down. But it will give us like a little bit of a temperature sandwich, where you go from cold to warm to cold, cold to warm to cold again. That's separated. Is this making sense, Mandem? Is it making sense? Do you feel like you're understanding? Do you feel free to ask questions if it gets a bit confusing? Hopefully I'm not moving too fast. Alright, what should we start with? Let's start with the face. To mix the colours. So I'm going to take this green. Which one's that? The deep green. A little bit of the frog green, just to warm up the temperature a little bit. I might add in a desaturated yellow, which is, I think that's the Tenere, no, is that Tenere yellow? It's like a yellow ochre, essentially. And then I'll add in the pastel to even call that out, and then we get this kind of nice one. Now this will work. Replicate, maybe. It's just, I mean, practice. You'll muck around and you'll do it, and then it will kind of meet in. Like, what I've done is not anything special, it's just changing the temperature. And I used, okay, that looks like a cast shadow from this angle. That's pretty good. I've used the underlayer to help me determine. Now the special thing about the back was that the blue was a little bit wet. So when I mixed the red into it, it kind of became this purple and blended together. So, excuse me. So, yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright. I'm gonna paint the face. Let's give it a nice space. Look how, oh man, see, I thought I could never see these details. I want eyes like this. Cool. Alright, let's go in. Get the green. I've kind of, the advantage of this is I've already got like a dark version. Let's grab this phthalo green, which is from shadow greens from Chimera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start marking in areas. Now, skin, which is different to like armor, now it is like the highlights are broad. We don't have big jumps in our skin. So like different values. Our values are very gradual. It's only where we have our value changes are very gradual. It's only where we have like folds where our color kind of like dissipates or light can't reach. So what we call an occlusion, like light can't get there because we've got like a fold in or something in our skin. It's blocking us. So this side will be like a colder green because it's in shadow, but it will still be green. So in a way, we've kind of highlighted it. What I'm kind of doing right now is adding in my own like specific shadows where I want that to live. And the reason I brightened it up is because when I did the glaze of the contrast, you can see it's already here. Oh, am I quieter? This is not a very good mic, but I need to get a mic for my to get one of those mics that I can attach to my chest or something, so it still keeps the quality even if I move around, like a neck mic thingamajiggy. Hopefully that's better. Alright, well, thank you for telling me. Okay, so let's go in. This is like a really nice area up here. Side of the face, like his top of his lip. Now I'm actually going to go towards like a kind of pink area on his face actually. Now thinking about it, to like show that he's got kind of like a raw skin. Like he is a cute Gretchen, but he is also an evil one. He's throwing grenades, dressed up as a snowman. It's Father Christmas, so of course he is a baddie. Can go really extreme with this. My brush is a bit mad. Okay. So I think you guys will. So stepping up to this green, remember we're keeping our highlights really broad. We're not trying to make them like, we don't want a huge jump in like difference, and like you can see how here it goes from that light area to that mid tone to that shadow. Don't worry about that. Like that's actually really good because we can use that when we come onto our oil paint to like guide us. Now, how are you guys going to do this without like a big lens? One way is to take a photo after you're done with your phone. Maybe not with a phone, I think the phone sucks, but if you have to use a phone and then zoom in, and then you can adjust there. Zoom in as much as possible and you can adjust it there. I'm gonna be playing around here because this is a good opportunity to mess around with different things. But that's one way you guys can like adjust, keep the shadow there if I can. Okay, now we have to move down to our 000. It's actually more important that you have like, where is it? You have a decent brush with like a ridiculously fine tip. It will save you a lot of headache if you invest in good brushes. I don't want to see any of my students smashing their brushes against the model. I will be very sad. None of that. Be gentle. These things cost a lot of money, and also it won't give you good results. Your paint will be all over the place. Right. So now I'm actually going to go towards a pink. I'm just marking out the area because I want him to have like kind of raw lips. So for that, let me think. Searching through the memory banks of creatures with like really, yeah. So there you go. So like we want a really desaturated. So we can actually use this pink, this one we've got up here. We don't need to mix that into our green because it will give us a grey. So we can be a bit more lenient with it. But we want a kind of reddish pink. Now the reason I'm using the same colour that I used for the jacket is because what this does is it gives us colour harmony. It is basically making sure you use the colours you've got around the rest of the model everywhere, in various places. Now it's gonna look weird at first, it's gonna look like he's got lipstick on or something. And at first it will kind of desaturate what you were doing, but that's okay because you'll see how much more interesting you can make a character look and how much more alive you can make a character look by doing this. Now orcs have red blood? It's not green, is it? I mean, their skin is green, but I think they're always depicted as having red blood. So this kind of makes more sense as you go. Now, this is like quite pink, isn't it? So we kind of want this to go a bit raw. I mean, I like it though. I like the frame. And also have it at the bottom. Like his skin is starting to peel back a bit. Just stippling. The way I like to use oils these days is just to refine this faster. And then when I actually come to doing the skin, anyway, that will make it look, the oils will help it look even nicer. So it's very good for like bringing smoothness to our work. The reason I could grab a reference and show you guys afterwards if you want. It's helpful to know what I'm kind of picturing in my head. Like the important thing would be to get like a glaze on this next. Okay. And then he's also, you know, he's cold, right? Because he's been in the snow. So we are just going to get, this is where we get a purple. Because rather than a full red, because and it's a little one, it's not much. We just want to bring, like, show that he's got some warmth. When we get cold, when we get a cold, our nostrils and our nose gets a bit red. So it's a nice way of like showing the tip of his nose is cold. Also, I have no. I think orcs have red blood. I'm pretty sure in all the video games they've got red blood. So it's going off of what we've seen in like video games. See how my brush is. Just glazing over it. Stippling, just a little bit. Okay, and then what we can do to fix any of that kind of issue is that we can just glaze over it. The glaze super thin. Let me just rub it over and then deposit it. The brush goes the direction. I think that's actually way too thick. It needs a little bit of water. There you go. Should be like a kind of wet puddle. No, I think I've done it too much. Never mind. Can just put it back afterwards. Okay, how does that look from a distance? It's kind of okay. For raw skin, I think probably be a bit redder towards the top skin. Same for down here. In the shadows, so it's colder. I'm doing a lot of like new stuff actually on this model. That's why the nice thing about like these challenges is like it's just an opportunity for you guys to try something different. I don't know when the next time I'll actually paint a goblin is going to be. Okay. Then we can actually offset this. So now we can start just refining it a little bit more. I'm gonna use. I think the pink is a bit too saturated. I'm gonna use this Tenere yellow and a little bit of red. Cool. Alright, and let me just get the green back in there. Let's see, we can start refining now. So then we go to super bright bluey green that we've got, and we can just add that to the tip. Right to the top, and that way we start brightening up the nose, and we can like remove any of them. Maybe too much again. It's also got a super bright chin, because why not? Cool. Just zoom out a little bit. I think then the nice thing about this is that we can glaze some green over now. And this will kind of unify things. So we just kind of pull it back. So anywhere that we kind of went a bit too far, we can make it seem a bit more transparent and a part of the skin. What is that thing he's holding? Is it a grenade? It's the top of the grenade, isn't it? his teeth. Okay. This is where it takes ages. There we go. Like now we're starting to see. Do you see like how just getting that glaze on there starts to make like, so now it doesn't look like he's got this weird thing on his face. So what I did is I took one of the other colours, lighter green, a frog green in this case, and I've just started like dabbing it on over the skin, like overlaying it. So now it kind of looks like, and that will dry, obviously that will dry lighter because acrylics dry lighter. When that dries, it will kind of start to look like it's just a part of the skin, and then we can go over it again. Let's actually do that before I get in trouble. Got an email about from work. Then you can actually just glaze that onto the model, and then we can always go on top of it to make it a bit more stand out again a bit more. But we can just reduce the area that we do it now. We can reduce it right down. So let's just get the last part of the pink, the green. Oh, sorry. Now we get that the colours we were using before. We just start dabbing on. Cool. Okay, just a little bit more red, not too much. We can probably get a little bit of brown in there as well, just to make it show it's kind of scabbed a bit. But I think probably this actually needs more contrast. It's underneath the bottom of the lips. So this one, I have to go a bit closer. I'll tell you what, guys, this will probably be easier in oils. There we go. Cool. So that's fine for a sketch. And then I'm just going to do the opposite side now, but like lowering the value even more. What do you lot think? How's that? Does that look like he's got raw skin to you? Like he's got, or is it like he's got super like pink lips? I feel like this could be a photo, so it's quite nice. Okay, let's go in here. Super strong. Oh my goodness, man. Super strong pigment, these AKs. I'm just highlighting all the shadows if I can. And you have to do all of it, like just, not all of the shadows, but like as much as you can. Just to show that it's 3D. And then that, like that lip we spoke about, where it's a bit raw, you can just come in again. And then basically, when you are shading, when you're painting a shadowed area, you still highlight, but you drop the value and you drop the temperature. So, for example, if you're using like on the warm side, which I'm doing here, on the warmer side, I'm using red mixed with like warmer tones, so like a warm yellow, like a cold, super cold yellow, like a pastel yellow or pastel peach in this case. And then and then for the actual mixture of the base color, it's just what's this? Scarlet red or a cadmium red light mixed with a tiny bit of purple. And then for the colder side, you use even less of the scarlet red or the cadmium yellow, cadmium red light, and you use more violet, and then that's what you paint with. And in your highlight, you use like a pastely pink for the cold side, or a pastely yellow for the warm side, and that's how you highlight. So now that's how we keep our highlights looking cold, even if they're in the shadow, but you still need to highlight it. Like, one of the reasons I got commended was because I hadn't really painted the back properly, and I could have easily got a trophy in that, which is gutting for standard. But yeah, just need to paint. Finish painting. Who would have thought finish your painting? But it was still working. It was still quite work in progress when I brought it. So next time I go, if I do that again, I'll bring a model. But like, please don't judge this. Just tell me, give me some feedback. Just moving out that highlight. I should bring down the value. It's a bit too bright. I think the area of the paint is actually drying in. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Thoughts? What do you guys think? Is this working, or have I just gone mad? I like the shadow. Yeah, I suppose you do have to be a bit mad to do this. I did get one of my good friends into one yesterday. He came and he I'm sure he wouldn't mind me showing you guys actually. Also, he painted a shield. He's never done miniature painting before. So I was just showing him how to paint. So he's done that. I thought that was pretty good for his first ever attempt in painting. He's never done it. He was actually like blending and stuff by himself. I was like, oh wow. Which I thought, I like the colour. So we're going to continue on this maybe at the weekend. But I was quite impressed. The lips. Yeah, I don't know. I think it kind of... I'm not sure what it needs. But the Joker. Yeah. Maybe I can dab it a little bit more, play around. If it doesn't work, I can always just bring it back to... It was creepy actually, it was quite creepy. I don't know. We'll see. I think I can either work on it... Keeping the line. Alright buddy, when we get to the lesson, when you come, I will help you. I feel like, what is this lacking? Let's look up a reference. Let's look up a reference for raw lit orc. Or orc reference. I've actually got one orc. War boss art. Want to come up with it, or will it give me something random? It's going to give me some AI art. It'll be really sick. Yeah, it has done that. Oh, honestly, I hate what AI has done to search engines. It's impossible to find decent like images these days that aren't just like hand painted. So frustrating. Give me a second. Orc war boss art. Interesting. So you can see, let's just turn the you can see the lips are underneath, so sort of right, but not really. Let's see, I'm sure I can find another reference that has this. Stay away from AI art. Interestingly, like, it's very loud. Not a lot of art has this kind of like style to it. It's kind of green. I mean, in a way, he does have it, but like it's a bit deeper. So it's not exactly where you might want it. Fine. I think I'll keep playing with it, and if I can't get it to look decent, I mean, this is pretty cool artwork. It is a bit raw, but I think I'll glaze in more purple, more pink, more of the colour. Just go from there. We'll just see how it goes. Thank you for the feedback, Frugal. I think I'll glaze in. Let's see what else we got here. Let's fix that chin. That chin will still have colour in it. Hey, how's that dried? Or even reaching, this is what I mean. Acrylics drying out before I'd even put it on the model. This side is a bit more suspect. Yeah, that's a bit better. I think it's actually just making it more subtle. It's about making it less stand out than you might think at first, and then you can always adapt onto it later. Alright. I think I'm actually quite happy with the nose. I'll probably, he says as he begins to paint it. Nose I'll probably leave as is. Because again, we come in here and we'll find all of that out anyway. Okay, cool. Alright. What is left, guys? The stomach and the hands. The most interesting parts of the model. The hands. Ugh, here we go. This is going to be fun. Let's get the shadow in there. We are still on acrylics because we have to do the whole model first. Because once I go to oils, I really don't want to have to switch back to acrylics. So we are taking our time. We are taking our time. If I was to switch to oils now, I mean I could. It wouldn't be a problem, to be honest, especially now that I've got that amazing medium, which saves me 10,000 years. But it kind of defeats the purpose of the sketch in the first place. Otherwise, I could easily just start. Okay, this is not going to be useful right here. I could actually start with oils. Maybe I will at some point show you guys how to start complete with oils, like a bust and stuff. It's not too dissimilar from those. Don't know if you can hear that. That's nice. Fucking drawing on a picture. See, to make this a bit more broad. Now his hand is actually facing away, right? Because he's arced up like that. So the inside would be cold, that side would be warm, and then down there is cold again. So that's why this is slightly more blue. And I'm just going to like sketch in where I will want to start the things from. That's why it's actually really important to study, like take some time to study light, like how light functions. And like directional lighting and stuff. Again, like you can see, it's very rough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember what colour orcs, like what colour are orcs' fingernails? Are they green? Or does he have like really human fingernails? Yeah, look how ugly that looks. You're doing a bony colour. They might be black. Black fingernails. Huh. That's interesting. Black fingernails. Okay. I wonder if I can. I wonder what that would look like. Black fingernails. Okay. I have to remind myself, like, this is a sketch. The guys I paint usually just shoot orcs. Too true. Too true. No one cares what they look like. We just shoot them. Just get the sketch out of the way. Move on.
Actually, it's already 10:35, so I doubt we'll actually get onto the acrylic, the oils today. Lamarty's is taking a break because that requires a lot of focus. He's kind of become a much bigger project than I was originally planning for him. He was meant to just be my like happy, chill out, stream online model. He's now become my makeshift competition piece, and which means chilling is out of the window. I've decided to enter into standard categories until I start winning golds. Rather than entering into masters straight off the bat. Oh, you're welcome, dude. You're welcome. You're welcome. This, honestly, yeah, storing it in the freezer will save you a lot of oil paint. Like my oils, some colors, like they just do dry out much faster. Like your browns will, depending on the pigment. I'm burnt umber. Like I feel like there's almost no way to save that unless you buy clove oil, which is this like specific like oil that you can put in the wet palette with you, the glass palette with you. But what's more important is that you make sure, yeah, the case you're using is airtight, and then that will protect your oil paints from drying out. Alright. Cool, so you got like a little blend there. Other hand. This is colder, so actually it's kind of done the work already for us, so we don't have to do too much for this one because that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, sometimes I think, oh, well, if I do that, do I extend the drying time with the paints that I mix it with? Well, that's a pretty good idea. Maybe I will just add a little bit. Okay, this is a bit tricky because technically this would be in some sunlight and just not as much. So this is where we cool it down, right? We go to the kind of opacity highlight, still brighter. It's kind of like using a bit of cyan. And this is what is giving the model its cold temperature. To the eye, like this looks quite it's quite smooth already. It's interesting, but like obviously on camera you can see it's very rough. Our eyes can't render. My idea is if I can get it kind of like nice and refined for the camera, when people see it in their hands, it will it will look even smoother at microscopic level. Look at that. Alright.
I think we'll probably do oils tomorrow, Hanger, because it's already past. I mean, actually, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I will jump onto oils. I can do oils for the skin. Just give me 5, 10 minutes. Where's my oil pen? It's downstairs. All right. Let me just do these eyes, and then we can switch to oils. And then I'll just wash my brushes after. That's fine. You guys will see. Oh, nice, man. I'm glad. Yeah. You'll be coming. You guys are gonna... I do think... Well, I hope it'll be fun. It'll be fun for me. I actually need to book my hotel, man. I haven't booked my hotel yet. There's parking nearby. I need to put that on the page. Yeah, you guys will enjoy it. Oh, yeah, no, just I'll be getting a hotel because I live in London, but I'm lugging around a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna bring my camera yet, like so you guys can see what I'm doing. I need to quickly check out the venue again and just see if they've got any more equipment than they had last time I went. Oh, that looks awesome. You know what? Now that I've got the eyes there, I kind of don't mind too much. That's awesome. That's cool. That is cool. I like that. I'm gonna see if I can get it to glow. Should we see if we can get this to glow, guys? Ah, that's dried. That's why it's doing that weirdness. Why does it look like that? I think one thing you can do is actually just take a trip down to the shop yourself. If you're not too far, and just see, like, is it manageable? This guy looks like a madman, guys. Look at him. He's like, "Rah!" This one is shadow, so we're going to use this one and this one. I'm going to mix those together. I'm using this pastel now. This is the pastel orange. Mix with a little bit of red. Yeah, guys, 100%. The course will be. I need to actually start like I already thought through everything. I just need to like write out the study guides that you guys will have on the day because I want to give you guys something to work through, so that you're not just working in silence. Right, let's get a green highlight now underneath because it is a shiny object, so there would be a reflection, and I'm gonna get the reflection of his skin in there, which is going to require precision and patience. Now, I advise guys doing things like eyes with acrylics and then doing the final dot highlight, which is that white dot, with oils. And yeah, like I think acrylics are just, because they dry faster, you can just adjust a bit easier with, it's such a small space with oils. So the oils are always used for like adding a punch and a power to it, otherwise I'll show you this bust so you'll see what I mean. need to actually continue work on this again. It's funny because like on camera, Idril's face looks really bad. On not camera, sorry, on iPhone. See her eyes. Probably do a bit more refinement now. Now that I can actually see what's going on. But you can see the oils in the eyes made such a difference due to their punch. Yeah. Anyway, getting distracted. Alright. I think I'm kind of happy with the face there. We've got the blue undertones. Now my style, I'm not like Craft World Studios, who will do like loads of different color temperatures moving around. I prefer to keep things kind of holistic like this. That's just my personal style, but you can see how we've kind of got that effect already. So what I'll do is I will do oils now on the skin. So give me a sec, I'll be right back. I'm going to switch to my oil palette and I'll be right there. I need to get them out of the freezer, so I'll be right back.
Mic off.
Right, be back. The green is punchy. Yeah. Oh. Let's put this away to clean that palette before it gets moldy. Moldy paint, which is never nice. To stop your acrylics from separating, by the way, you just, when you put the lid on, because I find like acrylics, like when they separate, they run all over the palette and get it like sink through. Instead, what you can do is you can just make the lid slightly ajar, and then it won't like separate. It will still stay wet because obviously the palette's wet, but it won't separate anymore. So it's a pretty good idea to do that. Right, let's see. Can you see what's going on? Because I can. Let's see. I've got a little preview here, so I'm just trying to move it into frame. Red grass. Right, so same as usual. I'm going to mix my palette here. What am I doing with my life? Okay, so this one, we need a green. I've got a green there. Goodbye water, because I can't use you now. Or won't be using you. We're just gonna use the green today. This is from Michael and Harding. Has been green, super punchy, really, really good. In fact, all of these colours are absolutely insanely good. Second colour, oxide of chromium. It's a slightly, actually, you know what? Do I want to use this one, or do I want to use this one? I've got two. I feel these colours are not exactly as they look on the palette. What are we thinking, guys? I think we do need... Let's get emerald green on there as well, which is like a very cold green. You can see, look. For some reason it's got some purple on it. I don't know if I'm going to use the chromium. It is nice. All of these are opaque, by the way. Don't want transparent versions because you just want that coverage. Actually, the other cool thing about that medium I told you about is that it keeps your paints opaque. Doesn't make them transparent. So it's also a massive bonus when it comes to like layering over things. And then we've got the phthalo. Oh, that's right. It's getting there. Blue is also a colour that dries really quickly. So the phthalo has quite a bit of blue in it. Alright. Let's make a mixture, and then what did we use before? We used a bit of this, which is the Naples. And then we've got our white. And since all I'm doing right now is the green, okay, actually no, we want some red as well. Cadmium reds for the lips. A tiny bit of Wisteria, which is this magenta colour. Also, the Mike and Hardings just seem to stay wet for a long time, which is also really awesome. And then the white. Okay. And to be honest, I'm not even going to bother mixing these because they're already so close to what I need. I'm just going to leave them separate and just work from that, rather than like blending the colours together. And then that will make our lives a bit easier as well. Don't have to worry about overcomplicating it. Okay, we're just doing the face. Probably too much paint for just the face, but whatever. A lot of the oil greens seem to be quite on the blue and yellow. So yellow will warm everything up. In fact, the cadmium green that I had there, or the cadmium pale, warms things up. And you'll see that even though I put this on, it will warm up everything when I add yellow to it. Now the yellow Naples light already has yellow in it, so I didn't really need it. But yeah, adding yellow to anything will warm it up, so that's one way. Right, prepare lads and ladettes, if there are any ladettes watching. Watch what happens. What are we starting with? Let's start with the brightest colour, which is green. Remember, our battle is one. Look how little the paint I'm actually using. It's ridiculous. All of that paint, and I'm absolutely not going to use all of it. Not for this. Just look at it. Look at that. It's like electric almost. So the medium I'm using helps me to like releases the brush, the paint from the brush, but keeps it flat. And you can see it's kind of thin, right? All right. Let's go. Now, unlike the acrylics, which lose their punch, oils keep it. Tell a lie, I will mix this, just because these are slightly off. So right now, the blue this side is cooling this one down. There you go. That's all I wanted. Let's get that. So what we're doing now is we're going to go for that mid-tone just in between. I wish I could get like oils in dropper bottles so I wouldn't have to use as much. All come in tubes. So look how smooth that is, how easy that's coming out, and honestly it is punchy. I'm just using this to actually just correct any of the mistakes that I made previously, using my acrylic base as a guide. Nose is casting the shadow, so I'm not going all the way to the top. Right, now this side slightly colder. For this actually guys, I'm going to use this colour, Vivid Blue. It's super strong. Tiny bit. There you go. Can even squeeze the thingy. So one advantage as miniature painters is that our old tubes, they cost a lot, but we'll never finish them anyway. So why am I doing this? Because I'm cooling it down. I want areas where it's slightly cooler, still in the green family, but cooler. And it will just create a different area. So like I'm gonna apply it on here, which where I already added, and then putting these colors next to each other, what that does is it tricks our eyes. Like from far, you're like from a distance, you won't notice that, but you'll notice that it's slightly more colorful this side's where we get into that kind of deeper green now. Ends up having more help. Ends up being more useful. So like, it was very rough here, so I'm just going to start correcting that now. Terminator, because the skin again still a shape, so it has to adhere to that. And start blending it out. It's that medium that lets me layer over it, guys. It's the medium that's really helping. It's doing all the heavy lifting. We can also use this to glaze, and it won't lift paint off the surface. So if you've got like wet paint on there as well, it won't lift it off. Just smooths it, flattens it out. I love it. You don't need a lot. And then when you mess up like I just did there, you can just go straight over it because of the medium. Okay. So I need to warm that up. Okay. Then we can just smooth that. I think some of it is glossy, so it's a bit tricky to see if it needs to be adjusted at all. I'll leave it for now. There's no rush to fix that. I can always come back later. But I suspect it will be fine, and I can always blend it afterwards. Right, let's get these lips done. Raw lips. Go, look at that, that's made such a difference. kind of what I wanted the acrylic to do, but just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. That desaturated thing is actually what I was after. Yeah. So I'm taking a bit of cadmium red light, and what I'm doing now is I'm just looking for opportunity to deepen this down. Let's add a bit more life into those lips, but not too much. We're not trying to wipe out the work we've done. Just trying to add a little bit, and we're going to keep this around the edges of it. And then it will naturally begin to blend itself. If you don't want it to blend, you just stick to the edges of the mark. There you go. That's much better. That's actually what I wanted. So now we've actually got this like kind of stippity look. For the eye, I'm going to just do a tiny bit of a deeper colour. I'm just gonna get the dot in. Actually, forget doing it anymore. No, I will go for it. So you guys have to listen to me talking to myself as I figure stuff out. I think actually it's fine. Maybe this eye will get a little bit of more love. A little bit of loaded brush technique. This is where the medium really is helpful for stuff like this. You've got thick paint. That looks crazy, man. Yeah, I don't think he actually needs much more. He probably just needs the dot. There you go. He looks mad. He actually looks like a madman. Alright, let's get the other area down. This one I'm going to mix. Now, okay, the thing to be a bit careful here is you can kind of see this has gone more towards grey on this side because it's blue and then there's a little bit of red on top of it. When you mix cyan and red, you get more of a kind of greyish colour because the cyan has is a little bit of blue-green, So you'll get grey because of the green in the actual cyan itself. If you want a magenta, if you want a violet, you need a magenta and a cyan. That will give you a stronger colour, which is kind of what you'll kind of get wisteria. I think that's what the colour kind of is. But for here, we just need to be a bit careful. So I'm using a bit of a glaze here. Yeah, it's just a complete madman. Oh, mistake. Just a little bit of a mistake there. For the teeth, I think he's not gonna have white teeth, is he? What's the point of his teeth? They're like a kind of bone colour. I can make a brownish colour, but I think will come onto the teeth when we do the grenade he's holding. And then I'm just gonna, the last thing I'm gonna do is start giving him these dots. I'm gonna type a little bit of wisteria, just a tiny bit. This is really strong, this paint. So I'm just gonna put it in really specific areas where I want to draw attention. So I think to the under to the bottom of the lip here. Ooh, it's like microscopic here. You can see it's super powerful, so I have to just, it's like almost like tinting it. Just gives it a bit more look, and then you can see like it just gives the lip there a bit more life. You can also use that colour, wisteria, to the nose, the underneath of the nose. Just warm up the nose a bit. It's important that you don't use too much. Now that has already started to dry at the top, I think we've actually lost a bit of the strong highlight that we had before. So I'm going to go back in there now with, on the nose, I mean, on the green nose. So kind of like unified because I blended a little bit. So now I want to bring that back. Really close. There you go. And then we can just smooth out the top there. That line, get the phthalo, we can go straight in there. Just need to be a bit more careful here. That's how we get red. And then the reds, again, a little bit of red to the nose. And then to make this look a bit more 3D, to show there's like a kind of rebound, there's light coming. This is where we get the underlight. It's a bit extra, so you don't feel like you have to do this. But remember, all the key things, if you take anything away from this, we are playing with like underlighting, or rather underpainting, to guide the colour choices we make on top. That line just gives us a bit more shape Then this will kind of stand out more once we've got those other colours around. I think for the inside, I could do that as acrylic, but I think I'll just go straight over with oils because we're here already, rather than going in and doing all these different things. It's interesting because like it's weird, like how it's been sculpted. So that's his chest, I guess. It's a bit weird to paint though, isn't it? Mad. There you go. So with oil paint, it's the same. It's just like you won't get the hardness look, kind of chalky texture that you might like if you paint like this straight away. But you do get the really good coverage almost straight away. You just have to be careful of things like that fluff coming to me. And then you can always just glaze. I think something so small like this, I would just glaze the rest. Just glaze with just grab some of the phthalo, just glazed in there. You can actually see the paint moving around, it's so pretty. Actually, like gap where I built this, or strange. Just glaze into the shadows and then that will dry tomorrow. Okay. Let's just fix this face. Don't like the thickness of that stroke. Crazy. Yeah, here you go. Last thing for the eyes is the white dot. That's why it's on the palette so much. I use it. Let's just make sure that the eye has all the attention it needs. cool thing, if I make a mistake, like I kind of did there, it's a bit too central, we can come in, because I didn't really paint much oil on it, I can just move it away. Just kind of push it to where I want it. Now if I'd used the whole thing in oil paint, this would be pretty impossible. So it's like a nice way of cleaning up. That's just using the white spirit. There you go, cool. Do you see that I've kind of curved it into a circle when it was more like a odd fucking dot. I could do the same with the top one, but I'm not gonna bother. But yeah, there you go. Simple. And then we can do the cloak tomorrow. I think I really like that cast shadow. I love the back bit, it's kind of cold blue. Yeah, I think that will give you guys much more power over how you guys decide to paint. Yeah. There you go. Alright, let's... Oh, gosh. I've almost gone over for another hour. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, this will be uploaded onto the Patreon, so check it out there. But hopefully you guys found this helpful. Remember, we're doing a challenge for how to... Well, green skin, basically. Like an orc or a goblin. See how far you get with it. Okay? Thanks again. I'll see you guys. I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I think the next time I'll be back will be Thursday because there's a couple of things that we need to do. So either Thursday or Wednesday I'll be back on. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys there. Alright, thanks for tuning in and see you later. Bye bye.
Mic off.